Welcome, everybody. It is finally time to reveal the hybrid testing strategy. I have been working on this for months, and I am just super excited to finally have it packaged into something that I feel confident in delivering to you guys. This is a basic outline here. We're going to go through this step by step and roll into an actual live test with real products that I've never tested on a brand new ad account in one of my stores. And you guys can see the results for yourself and see how I would interact with those campaigns as they go through the first few days of testing. So really, really exciting stuff. I've never done that before in any of my webinars. And as you guys know, I'm very strict with what I put out there. I'm never in a rush to put something out. It really does have to prove itself at a level that most people wouldn't be willing to go through. And the extensiveness of my testing, I really can't overstate. So what I did, and let's just dive into this really quick and discuss, why do I call this the hybrid testing strategy? Why do I call the hybrid scaling strategy hybrid? Because it is a hybridization of campaign budget optimization and ad set budget optimization. We are utilizing both forms of optimization. So a lot of people say, CBO is better than ABO, ABO is better than CBO, right? We got a battle going on. And I'll admit, for a long time, I was very adamant that ABO was king. And in a lot of ways, it still is. And you're wondering, well, why are you going to teach us a CBO strategy? Well, because each method has strengths and weaknesses. And through my extensive testing, I have discovered how to utilize CBO in a way that maximizes our testing dollars, and also without losing the strength and the power of the scaling of ABO, because I still believe that ABO is king for vertical scaling. That's why the hybrid scaling strategy is used for BNC winners, because it's a low budget scaling strategy. It really doesn't go super high on the budgets, but it's great in the low budget realm. CBO campaigns, I find, optimize very differently than ABO. They optimize at a slower pace, and they maintain consistency over seemingly a longer period of time. But they do this by operating at a lower budget. And ABO optimizes more rapidly and allows you to scale more rapidly. But they also burn out faster. So I have developed a way to utilize both in order to help you guys spend less on testing, really. Waste less money on testing. And you'll see in the live demonstration, the testing campaigns, were profitable. That's rare. It's very rare. I launched 3 products that I've never tested before with a brand new ad account on one of my stores, and they were profitable. Best case scenario, what we're looking for in most situations, best case scenario is that we break even at testing. That's in a phenomenal position to be in. If you're breaking even at testing, then that means you're allowed to keep testing until you find that strong winner. And it's not until you land that winner and start scaling it do you enter into profitability. But we actually ended up profitable at the testing stage. And that's what I've seen. I've done countless split tests on multiple accounts, multiple stores, in a variety of methods, as many as I could think up. So the amount of campaigns, 1 campaign, 2 campaigns, 3 campaigns, up to 10 campaigns, 1 ad set, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 10, 1 interest, all the way up to 10, whether they're different interests per ad set or all 10 interests in the same ad set. I had to figure out which worked the best. How many interests per ad set? How many ad sets per campaign? What optimizes the best and the most consistently, right? You can take a winning product and throw it up there with just about any strategy and be profitable. The testing strategy doesn't make a product a winner. Okay, the scaling strategy does not make a product a winner. It reveals it. Okay, so how good are you at revealing it? But what we can do is set ourselves up for success with weaker products so that we're recouping more of our testing budgets and actually positioning ourselves with a stronger foundation for scaling in those weaker products, which over the course of time is going to drastically improve the profitability of your business. So I went through countless combinations in this process and split test each one of them against the original Keys to Consistency testing method, which is still a great testing method. It is still fantastic. I still have clients crushing it with that method every day, and I've been posting it on my story. These guys, the original method has produced, I've seen screenshots, totaled them up to, over $30 million. And those are just the ones that I've seen. And I don't ask people for screenshots. They just send them to me. And I'm assuming that the numbers are far higher than that, probably double over the past year. So the original method, there's nothing wrong with it. This is just a way to improve upon what we're doing. And I'm hoping that you guys can utilize this for quarter four and really take your business to the next level this year. So what I have discovered is that CBO campaigns, as we've seen with the hybrid scaling strategy, is that they perform best with 3 ad sets inside. Now, for testing, I wanted to give other conclusions a chance, and I tried them all, eventually settled in on this method that you see before you. Now, the part that's not shown here is some of the little details, and the little details actually make a big difference, and that is the testing location. I have assembled a special list of locations for testing that improve your odds. So we're going to see, now at the interest part of this, the first 3 interests are like obvious interests. Whatever it is that you're selling, it's, just pick the most obvious thing and then the first 2 suggestions that pop up after that. All right. So if you're selling a coffee mug, target, coffee, tea, I think coffee cup is even an interest. Maybe it's not. Whatever the third one that pops up, the suggestions is, that's fine. And then a bonus interest is your opportunity to spice up the audience with something that you wouldn't normally select, or that you would think that the average marketer wouldn't normally select. So we want to picture our potential buyer in our minds. We should be able to see them in front of us. What kind of person drinks coffee every single morning? Well, a lot of people do. So this question, this example may not be perfect, but if someone's getting up and drinking coffee every morning, then they're probably going to work. They're probably, in my head, I'm thinking they might be wearing dress shoes and slacks, and they're going to work in an office or something like that. So maybe I target dress shoes, right? We're just looking for another way to get our target audience, but maybe that target audience hasn't searched for coffee on the internet in some time. And so they're not in that audience group, but there's still somebody who may be interested in that product. That's, it could be the type of music that you think they listen to, or, what kind of clothing do they wear? What other hobbies might they have? And so that's a really fun way of spicing up the audience mix. And it helps us, it helps Facebook find a broader audience because the majority of our interests are, very targeted. They're very obvious. Facebook gets the idea, like, this is the audience that we're going towards. And then you've thrown in this kind of X factor in there, which benefits us when we move into the advanced stages of scaling, because now we've shown Facebook that there are other buyers out there, and we're just positioning ourselves for future scaling by doing this, okay? And it has been working out very, very well for us. So let's go to the next slide here and check out the key takeaways from this method, just for setting these things up. There is a live demonstration, obviously, but you guys can screenshot these and save them. I'll probably have them written out under the video as well. All right, so optimize for purchase and conversions, not value. I have noticed that some ad accounts are defaulting to value. Make sure you switch it to conversions if that's the case. My accounts are still defaulting to conversions. So just do conversions. I've done a lot of split testing on this, and conversions have been the most consistent for me. It's not that value can't give you good results. I've seen good results with value. We're talking about consistency across, dozens and dozens of products, probably hundreds of products. over time across multiple accounts and multiple stores. When I say that I've split tested things, like I've done it extensively. Okay, I didn't test two products and then like say, okay, I know what works better. That's not good enough for me. So same interests across all of the ad sets. All right. So every ad set is a copy of every other ad set. So, one product has 3 campaigns. Each campaign is a carbon copy. All right. So you're going to start off by, just building out one campaign with one ad set, and then you're going to duplicate that ad set 2 times. And then you're going to take the campaign and duplicate it 2 times. I personally recommend using one creative. I found that has worked quite well for us. It's something that I've pretty much always taught is that I'd rather test 2 products with one creative than one product with 2 creatives. I just feel like, and you can take that example to 20 products with one creative compared to 10 products with 2 creatives. I think that your money is better spent on testing multiple products than multiple creatives. However, if you want to test 2, I have done this and with this method on a product where I just really wanted to explore the option, and it still performed okay. I was at the $60 mark. I cut out the underperformer and just turned it all off and let the primary one continue to run. And over the next next couple of days, it optimized. All right, so it was fine. We're going to do auto placements on everything. And then here, as you've probably already skipped ahead to see, this is the location list that you're going to use. You're going to see me type it in the live demonstration. And you're able to save this list. And that way you just go to your saved location lists and plug this in. And you'll be good to go. Now, when you type in United States, it will automatically input the U.S. Virgin Islands and the United States outlying islands. Leave those in there, guys. It's I just didn't want to type them out here because all you have to do is type United States and it includes all 3 of those locations. A lot of people don't know that Puerto Rico is not included on a lot of or isn't included when you target US. It's only included when you target worldwide, and a lot of people miss out on that location. It's a great converting location. I've lived there. The shopping is terrible. A lot of people shop online, and the scalability isn't great, but the conversion rate is good. And we've got a couple other interesting locations in here to spice it up a little bit, and then we let Facebook do all the work and determine where it wants to spend the money, and it does so quite well. These are the rules for testing, guys. Obviously, you can tailor this to your business, to your products, but these are the general rules. And when I'm talking to hundreds, or thousands of people and teaching them methods, I have to give a general basic outline of a strategy to follow. For those of you that are more advanced, you can tweak this. For those of you that are beginners, or somewhere in the middle, just follow this, by the book, and it'll treat you right. All right. So at $30 spent, and I'm talking, this is across every campaign. So once all campaigns have spent $30, so it's actually a total of $90. So after the first, it's actually after the first day, because we're launching these campaigns at a $30 budget. So after 24 hours, if none of the campaigns have a purchase, just turn everything off. The product's a dud. You spend $90 without a purchase on a new product, it's a dud. All right, just move on. If the average ROAS across all 3 is a +1, just definitely let it ride to 60, because CBO optimizes over a longer period of time than ABO. Okay, it will actually see significant optimization over the course of the first 5 days, where ABO usually optimizes in the first 24 to 48 hours and peaks and then starts to decline, unless it's like an A winner, which keeps like gaining momentum. But for B and C winners, they usually peak and then die off very quickly. CBO is different. CBO has this very gradual rise. So +1 ROAS, my recommendation is definitely let all the campaigns ride to $60. If it's below a 1 ROAS, say there are a couple of purchases came in, and it's below a 1 ROAS, this is up to your discretion on how risky you want to be. It may or may not optimize. It may, end up in a position where you could move into a weaker hybrid scaling situation. If you want to save your testing dollars for something more successful, then just turn it off. All right, so day 2, $60 spent across all campaigns, off of each campaign, I should say. If it's a 2+ ROAS, immediately move into hybrid scaling at $30. $15 or $30 is fine. Leave the original campaign alone. Don't touch it. All right, it's going to continue to optimize. It's going to continue to make you money. Just leave it alone. If your hybrid scaling fails, continue to let your original campaign, assuming it's still profitable, continue to let that original campaign, the testing campaign, run for another week, maybe even 2, and then you can try hybrid scaling again. All right? Just because it didn't work the first time doesn't mean it won't work if you let more data come in. If your ROAS is a 3 average, a 3 or above average across all 3 campaigns, so maybe you've got a 5 and a 2 and a 3, right? You've got above a 3. So that's a good situation. Or you're going to move into an ad set budget optimization split. And I will explain that and show that in the demonstration. On all of the CBO campaigns, you're going to double the budgets on anything that's over a 3, leave the other ones alone. If your ABO split fails, if like it completely bombs, then continue to let your original campaign run for a week. And if you're still above a 3, try it again. If you're above a 2, go to hybrid, so on and so forth. Okay, these rules all work synergistically. An ad set budget split is a modified version of the original testing strategy, where you're going to go to ad set budgets. You're going to launch one campaign with 6 ad sets. You're going to use the new location list and all 4 of the testing of the interest that you used for this testing method. Okay, so it's basically going to look exactly the same as this testing method, except it's ad set budgets and it's 6 ad sets, and you're launching them at $20 a piece. Okay. We're seeing great success with this. Again, you're going to see a live demonstration here in just a minute. Now, $120 spent, so day 4, just continue to scale the 3+ ROAS ad sets every 72 hours. You make an adjustment, you wait 72 hours. That's 3 days. You wait 3 days, and then you look at the ROAS again off of a 3 to 4 day average. Okay, so just select on your ads manager the last 4 days, and if it's above a 3, you can double your budget. If it's below a 3, leave it alone. If it's below a 2, cut your budget in half. All right, and if you're scaling down, make sure you leave your budget alone for 72 hours again. So these instructions can be followed perpetually. All right, so every 4 days, you're looking at a 4-day average or whatever. You're just going to make a decision on what makes sense for your ad set or your campaign based off of 4-day average and what ROAS it's pulling. Okay, it's very simple stuff, guys. So you're going to get to see me make some of these adjustments here in the live demonstration. So we're going to roll right into that now. Let's launch some products. So we're going to launch a real product in one of my real stores, something I've never done before on film. I'm pretty excited about this, actually. I don't really need to do it, but I think it would be fun. A little way to spice up the course. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to teach you the new hybrid testing strategy, guys. Okay, this is the secret sauce. This is what I've been working on for months and months and months, and people have been begging for me to release it, but it took tons and tons of testing. So here we are with a finalized strategy that is outperforming my original testing strategy about 80 to 90% of the time. And really, I needed that level of consistency before I was willing to release it to the public. So let's go ahead and launch a campaign. I'm going to go straight for conversions. Like always, people, if you've been following me long enough, you know we don't waste our time with anything else. Test product number 1. We are going to use CBO. I hate CBO, but we have found a way to make it work. And honestly, the only reason why I don't like it is because it makes your ad account very disorganized. It's just a mess. I don't know why they decided to transition into this, but it is what it is. We adapt and we overcome. So we're going to go straight to purchase, like always, guys. There we go. Select your pixel, move it to purchase for the event, and locations. This is where it gets fun. We're going to hit this link here, add locations in bulk. Location type, countries. Follow along with me here. United States, Canada, Mexico, United Arab Emirates, Israel, Puerto Rico, Australia, Taiwan, and Hong Kong. Okay. Here we go. Now, make sure you check this box, save this list to use it again. It is going to automatically select minor outlying islands and Virgin Islands. That's fine. You leave those in there. We're going to hit add 11 locations. This will just be your default list. Save list. Bada bing, bada boom. All right, cool. So now when you come back to this, you just want to hit browse, hit saved locations, and there you go. It'll automatically populate the location list for you. Now, after you've populated that saved list, that beautiful list of yours, you're going to type in EEA all the way down to the bottom here, European Economic Area. For those of you that didn't realize, I didn't add any European countries to that list. And this is why. We're just going to use this region. And that is our testing area, all right? Age range, 18 to 65, yes. For this product, I'm going to be targeting men. Make sure you always select gender if it's a gender-specific product. If it's a gender-neutral product, you don't need to select it, obviously. Detailed targeting, detailed reach, targeting and expansion. This product, I guess I can give you the basics about it. I might as well. It's a pair of pants for men, so that's what we're gonna advertise here. And we've got a couple other products in other categories. We've got a home decor product. We've got a Halloween product that we're gonna run. So a couple of different categories we're gonna hit. Now, for this, I'm going to target cargo pants. Targets trousers. We're gonna put 4 targeting options in here, guys. Streetwear. So you're going to pick 3 options that are very obvious, very accurate to the product. And then your 4th option should be your bonus, like your out of left field, kind of random targeting option. And the way we pick this is I'll actually visualize the person that would be buying this product and try to imagine what other things would they be interested in, or what other things do they have in their life? What kind of music do they listen to? What kind of food do they eat? What kind of car do they drive? What kind of hobbies do they have? That kind of stuff. So this type of product, I think, because it is streetwear, I'm going to go with hip hop as a targeting option. Hip hop music. Okay. We're going to leave detailed targeting expansion turned off. Automatic placements is beautiful. And here's where things are going to get a little bit blurry for you guys, but you can follow along anyways. So I'm going to select my Facebook page. I have quite a few. Let's see, what do I want to use today? I don't mess around with Instagram accounts anymore. You can if you want, but I just usually leave it on use selected page, and that's because we use so many different Facebook pages. Add media for this ad, we're just going to use a single photo that I've touched up with a little bit of Photoshop magic. Perfect. Sorry for the blurries. I'm going to switch over to my product page here, and what we're going to do is I'm going to put my product description here in the primary text. This is literally just the exact product description. I don't make up any random ad copy stuff. I just copy the description over because we put a lot of effort into our descriptions. And that being said, I'm going to be releasing a class, a training very soon on copywriting. It's going to include copywriting. It's basically going to be all of the knowledge that I have on building product pages and product selection. So it's going to be kind of like a product research webinar, but we're going to dive into every single product category that I can really think of and tell you how you should be constructing your product pages, what you should be including on them, how you should be presenting your offers, what type of pricing you should be looking at, just tons and tons of information on how to maximize the potential of every single product. So I'm just going to copy over my product description, product title goes, like the name of the product goes into the headline. The description, I usually just make up something that's product related. And then obviously we got our product page URL. So I'm going to grab that information right now. All right, guys, now that all that's in there, we're going to hit call to action and change it to shop now, because we're not trying to pull any tricks on anybody. We're just presenting them with a product that they like at a reasonable price and making it easy for them, getting out of the way. All right, so we're going to confirm that our initial ad set now is launched. So follow along with me here. We're not quite finished. So go into the ad sets tab, this middle tab here, and we're going to grab this ad set and hit duplicate 2 times, okay, 2 copies. So we're going to have a total of 3 ad sets. And as I've already mentioned, likely in the first part of this video, I have tested every variation of this. 1 ad set, 2 ad set, 3 ad set, 4 ad set, all the way like to 20, and every variation of different combinations of interests, 1 interest, 2 interest, 10 interests, like everything you can think of. I went and I split test against my original method across dozens of products on multiple accounts, multiple stores. And it might seem I've simplified it for you guys because that's the only way that I can teach it, is if it's simplified. And it took a lot of work to refine this method. I'm really excited about it now. And 4 interests, 3 obvious ones, 1 bonus one, stirs up the mix a little bit, and 3 ad sets is what optimizes best for CBO and gives us the best opportunity for scaling, which you probably have already learned with the hybrid scaling method. And so here we go. We went ahead and we duplicated that original ad set 2 times. So we have 3 copies. They're just carbon copies of each other's. Okay. So now we're going to make 2 copies of the campaign. So we're going to have 3 campaigns with 3 ad sets inside, 4 interests in them with the country list. And that's how we rock and roll. Okay. So 2 copies of this campaign. Just like to keep it clean. I don't like the copy text in there. And that's it. That first product is now rocking and rolling. And I will dive into how to interpret the data of your testing in the next segment. We'll go into what you should be looking for in the first day or 2 and the initial stages of scaling. So I'm pretty excited to see the results from this test, and let's go ahead and launch another one. What's up, guys? Here we go. Let's go ahead and launch a Halloween product. I hope you guys are taking advantage of Halloween because we crush it with Halloween every year. Pretty excited about this product myself. So let's go ahead and throw it up. CBO, $30. Continue. Always with that purchase. Using that saved list, right? Boom. EEA added in. Detailed targeting. Halloween. Halloween costume. Trick-or-treating. Let's do haunted house. So this one's very specific. I don't know if I need to do any left field targeting options. It's just a personal choice on this product. I don't think I really need to, so I'm not going to. Awesome. So that product's up. We're just going to duplicate it here. Remember, we need 3 ad sets total and 3 campaigns total. Boom. Actually, I want to delete that copy text. Perfect. So 2 products are rocking and rolling now. So let's go ahead and get a third one up. All right, guys, for the third and final product, we're going to put up something in the home decor category. There we go. CBO, $30. I'm going to grab our location list. Type EEA. Home decor products. IKEA. Zara Home. And let's do new house. Turn off detailed targeting. Confirm. You guys know the drill. Duplicate this. These ad sets out 2 times. 2 more campaigns for 3 total. Looks like our first one's already running, which is great. So I'm going to let these run basically nonstop for 2 days. That's the way I like to do it. There's 2 ways to do this, guys. You can check them after $30 spend, and that's if you want to go really low budget here and super careful. I find that letting them run a little bit longer it has been beneficial in my experience. I let them run to $60, each campaign $60. Now, let's say you don't have any purchases across all 3 after the first day, probably safe to turn it off. But let's say the purchases are coming in, but you're not quite profitable. I have seen that this method optimizes over the course of 5 or 6 days, not necessarily right away, which is what we would see with an ABO testing method. An ABO testing method usually starts out like crazy optimized, and then or like maybe at like an 80% peak, and then it peaks out over the first 48 hours, and then it just crashes. This one has a very slow optimization process, much more slow and controlled, and stays at that peak longer. So it's pretty nice. It's pretty interesting to see the differences. So I will check these things in a couple of days. I'll probably ignore them completely. I don't like to get too caught up in checking the ads all the time. I set specific intervals to check my ads. That way I don't make any rash or emotional decisions. Everything is predetermined on how I'm going to react at specific times of the testing process. So I'll check these things in a couple of days, see where they're at, and I will let you guys know. Hello, hello, hello. We are back, and with an update of the ad account and the new testing method. I know I said he'd come back after $60 spent. I wanted to give it another day because I wanted to show you basically stage 2 and stage 3 of this new testing method. So as you can see, things are looking fairly good. I haven't really started scaling anything as of yet. We've got some baby hybrids going on here, which are performing okay. But that's pretty much it as far as the scaling goes. Now, we've done some other things. And we're going to go through that here in just a second. So product one looks strong and consistent. And this is really important. I want to show you guys, I wanted to show you how these campaigns perform differently than the normal testing strategy that I teach. In ad set budget testing, ad set budget optimization happens at a very different pace than campaign budget optimization. Campaign budget optimization does not start out as strong. It takes more time to optimize. It takes more time to find its gear. And so over the past few days, the performance has been fluctuating a good bit, but we've reached stability on this first product here, which is really what I wanted to see. Ideally, from all three of them. Obviously, we hope all three products, every product we launch, is profitable, but that's not always the case. So, like I said earlier, I have never run these products before. They're brand new. I handpicked them, 3 different niches, just to get some results to show you guys. And what we'll do here is just let's filter out the original campaigns. So first 3 campaigns doing very well. Right off the bat, I could tell this product was doing quite well, and that I would want to do some sort of scaling with it later on. Now, product number 2 showed potential, but it wasn't crazy strong. Now, we've got one really great campaign here that's outperforming the other 2. And honestly, even though, like, let's say if this was an ad set budget, if this was an ad set right here, I'd probably be turning it off. But because I know how CBO takes a little bit of time to optimize, I'm going to let it run. And I believe we're going to see these balance out over the course of a few more days. I didn't really give myself the best footing for this launch. Now, you guys didn't know this, but I launched these on a Monday. And we all know Mondays are just complete shit. And things have started to, the performance has started to come up today on a Wednesday, and I expect them to all perform quite well through the weekend. And so I'm really excited about that. And then product number 3 did not come in as strong. And I would expect these to probably balance out around a 1.5. So I'm thinking this product's not going to scale vertically. I am probably going to do some low budget hybrid with it, because the orders that are coming in, and I think it hasn't tracked all the orders. I think I'm missing a couple, but that's okay. I'll probably launch a $15 CBO at this point, a $15 hybrid, on this product, and continue testing the potential of it. Now, the average between these is about a 1.3, 1.4. So even at the testing stage, right? So this is our testing campaigns. To come in profitable during testing, as I'm sure you guys know, is quite rare. Normally you don't hit profitability until you start scaling a strong product. You usually lose and you're negative during testing. A lot of times, best case scenario, you're hoping for breaking even. And then you start scaling up the profitable ad sets or campaigns, and that's what brings you into profitability. Now, to come out of testing after 3 days at a 2.47 ROAS is pretty great. It's pretty great. So, and I know there's a couple purchases missing here, so we're probably a little bit higher. We're definitely higher than a 2.47, but we go with what we work with what we got, and so I'm really excited about where we're at now. This testing strategy is almost like dipping your feet in the water, and it's actually much less aggressive than my normal keys to consistency testing method. It gives us a safer way to get a reading on a product and to let us know if it's worth investing more money in. And what I'm seeing across the board, what I have seen for the past couple of months while running these tests, is that I recoup a significantly higher portion of my testing budget, even on losing products. So this product here is a losing product, but I'm still recouping my testing budget pretty well, the majority of it anyways. And I would, if I had, split test this against the old method, I would assume that this thing probably would have gotten one purchase across the whole campaign, at $120, $150 spend, would be in a much worse off position, much more negative on it. And the other products came in profitable, which is fantastic. So now if you have a product that looks like this, and this is great that we got 3 different results. I'm going to be honest with you. This is best case scenario here because I could tell you what to do in each of these scenarios. When you have a product that looks like this, at least this good or better, like maybe, you're averaging above a 2.5, like a 2.5 to a 3 or higher, something like that. What we're actually going to do is revert. We're going to do a split to the old testing method, because the old testing method actually has far greater potential for scaling. Okay, this testing method helps us lose less during testing, but it doesn't position us for aggressive scaling where the ad set budgets do. Okay, so the old testing method is far greater for hitting higher numbers. This is far greater for recouping more of our spend and playing things safer so that we don't waste as much in the testing process. And what's great is that we don't have to abandon the old method altogether. We can use them simultaneously. And now we know which products are worth going aggressive on and which ones we should just let ride out at a low budget CBO campaign like hybrid. So this is really, really fantastic. So let me remove this filter here and I'll show you what I did with product number 1. I did a split off. Okay. Now I relaunched this product yesterday. As soon as I saw at the $60 mark that this thing was doing well, I went ahead and launched it with the old method with a little bit of a variation. And all this stuff's going to be written here, written out for you guys so that if you're not good at taking notes, I'll have notes for you guys. Now, so we did the split off. The difference here between what you're seeing on my screen right now and the old method, and I'm going to pull it up for you, is that we're using my special location list, okay? And we're using it with all 4 interests on all of the ad sets. And these are all carbon copies, okay? But what we've done is we've allowed ourselves to move into ad set budgets, which have greater potential for scaling. And as you can see, we're a very, very strong position right now. This ad set looks phenomenal with 3 purchases. And actually today I'm going to go ahead and double that up. Okay. So we're in a great position. So we're doing, with a product that comes out strong, we're going to actually transition it to ABO. Now we're not going to turn off the CBO campaigns. We're going to leave them alone. We could even scale them up. It wouldn't be a terrible idea to bump up some of these budgets, but I think I like where they're at, and I'm going to put a lot of effort into this campaign because it's got a lot more potential. ABO performs significantly better to high budgets in my experience, so we're going to push this one pretty hard in the ABO campaign. So again, we're splitting it off into 6 ad sets, which gives us an opportunity to see a majority. A degree of consistency. Okay, that's what we're looking for. So, like, let's say we had less ad sets that came out profitable, then our confidence in that product would be lower, and we wouldn't be as aggressive with this product. I've got 4 profitable ad sets within 24 hours. One of them already has 3 purchases. It looks fantastic. So I'm going to be pushing that one pretty hard. Now, as soon as a second purchase rings in on any of these other ones, I'm going to start scaling it as well. And I think that we're going to see purchases on all 6 of these, to be completely honest. So
Now, we probably won't scale them all aggressively because they are carbon copies. It doesn't make sense to do that. We want to find the strongest one and run with it. But we will probably raise the budgets on anything that's looking really strong, and then just focus a lot of attention on the strongest one. And the next stage of this, for those of you that are familiar with the scaling process, we would move into the expanded scaling strategy once we've gotten these budgets up to around 100, 150, maybe $200, wherever they peak. That's when we would move into expanded scaling. So it's hard, and I've tried this with the hybrid campaigns. It's hard to transition into expanded scaling from a hybrid campaign. It doesn't work very consistently. So it's important to start fresh with ABO. Once you've identified a winning product, you start it fresh with ABO and then scale it up and move into expanded. All right, so let's take a look at product number 2. This guy right here. Looking pretty good. This one's probably break even. Actually, I have a really good margin on this product. I want to say that it's probably profitable at 1.8. I think break even's around 1.5. So this guy's a little bit low, and then this one's looking phenomenal. All right, so what I did, I wanted to test another creative with this just because I identified that there was a good bit of potential here. But I was like, well, maybe we're not hitting the mark perfectly. So I found another creative that I really liked. I relaunched at a higher budget because I felt like we'd optimized a good bit. But I'm not seeing the results that I want to see here. So I'm actually going to lower these down to $30 and let them gain a little bit of momentum. And then try to scale them back up and see where we're at. So at this point, I would probably want to, this product is probably like middle of the road performance. It's not as consistent as this one, right? Yeah, it's got one campaign that's got a 4 ROAS, which is higher than these, but across the board, we're seeing a good bit of inconsistency, and that reduces my confidence level. Okay, we don't have a burden of proof for scaling yet. I would feel very comfortable moving this into hybrid scaling. But what I wanted to do was kind of stress test it a little bit harder and see if maybe it was a really like a strong enough product to move into ABO. And I might still do that. We'll see. It's it's a calculated risk, but I would feel very confident at this point of launching the hybrid scaling technique. Now here we go. We've got product number 3. Did not do that great. Definitely poor performance. But it is fairly consistent. I mean, look at these add to carts. Look at these cost per clicks. We're seeing a decent consistency. It's actually far more consistent than the other 2 products. It just isn't, we're not sealing the deal, okay? So the passion for the product isn't really there. That means to me that we don't really want to do much with this now, because I would say it's there's always decisions you can make depending on your stomach for risk. Okay, and I have a pretty strong stomach for risk at this point, and so I'm willing to continue investing in this product based on the attention that it's getting. I think that there's still some potential there, and so I'm going to launch hybrid with this. I'm probably going to give it. Today's Wednesday, so I'm probably going to give it until maybe Friday. I'll just let it run. What is that? Another $200 or something. So I'll let it run until Friday and see where it's at, and then I'd probably move into hybrid for the weekend and give it the best chance possible of hybrid working. But I would launch it at a low budget for hybrid. I would probably only do $15 campaigns. So that is that. Product number 2, I could probably move this into hybrid today, but I want to give these other 3, the new creatives a chance at that $30 budget for a couple of days before I make a decision, because I really do think that there is I'm on the fence. I think there's a little bit of potential to do some ABO scaling with it, and I want to see where it's at, and then make a decision. Probably on Friday again with that product is when I would decide, hey, let's move this to ABO or let's move it into hybrid scaling. So I'm super excited with the results here. And as you can see, I also simultaneously launched hybrid on product number 1. Let me filter these out. And it's doing okay. This, like, I'd probably, because I've got a lot of other things running, I would just turn the ones off that aren't profitable today. So these 3 guys aren't really making me any money, so let's get rid of those. The other 3 look great. Obviously this is a high ticket product, but it's actually not a high ticket product. I just positioned it in a way that it would generate me more money by the offer on the page. So I'm pushing people towards motivating them to getting a bundle. And it seems like a considerable amount of people are taking the deal because of the way that I positioned it. It just is a very convincing offer. And make sure you guys are doing that. Make sure you're getting creative with your offers on your page. So yeah, we're in a great spot right now. If I hadn't been, risky with the hybrid scaling on product 1 while launching the ABO, we'd be in an even better position overall than a 2. We'd be, close to a 2.2 or something. So all in all, everything looks fantastic on these 3 products. If you guys want to do this at a high level, you need to be launching 20 to 30 just like this, managing them, every day, and we would be in a far better position, making a lot more money. So, but that's okay. I didn't want to go through too many products during the webinar. It doesn't seem like it would have been it would have been a little too much. The important thing is that you understand the strategy that you're doing. 3 campaigns, 3 ad sets, 4 interests. One of those 4 is kind of a bonus, like random selection that you think correlates in some fashion, but might be an unconventional way to get to that audience that you're looking for. And 1 creative, and let it rock and roll. It's a very gentle way of testing a product because it really does seem to pay off as far as how much you recoup from your testing dollars, and then you're in a very good and confident position to make a decision on whether or not you should scale and how you should scale based on the performance of the product, because ABO again has far more potential for vertical scaling, but it is, I would say, less efficient for testing at this point, is what it seems to me, is that it's a little bit less efficient. And for those of us that, if you've got deep pockets and you don't really care, you could start with ABO on everything, and you'll be faster as far as the scaling goes, because you're going to identify that product right away. But I do think that this also anchors us with a little bit of security in a product, where if I had launched this with ABO, I wouldn't necessarily have been as confident in the scaling. And I think that we have found a degree of optimization in the audience that we may not have seen if we'd done the original strategy. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this sampling of the strategy. I'm very excited about it, and I love the results that I'm seeing. I feel like I'm in more control of my ads at the testing stage, in that there's less loss in the testing, which is essential for managing costs, and especially for people who are starting up and they don't have a massive budget to test. It's important that they're recouping their testing dollars, or at least as much of it as possible. Now, again, nothing replaces a good product. You got to have a good product. You got to have a good attention-grabbing creative, and the strategy just reveals the product to you and allows you to make a decision on what you should do next. So again, hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and there will be a write-up for you on the strategy so that you can follow it step by step. Obviously, you can replay the video, analyze these stats even deeper, and try to understand why it is that I made the decisions that I made. The most important statistic isn't on here. The most important statistic doesn't exist in Ads Manager. You have to draw it out yourself through observation. The most important statistic is consistency. Okay. Yes, the course is called Keys to Consistency, and that's not a coincidence. Consistency is so important. And what we're looking for, what I mean by statistics, consistency in the statistics, is consistency of performance across multiple engagements with the product, multiple campaigns, multiple ad sets. If the majority of your campaigns, the majority of your ad sets for a product are profitable, then you have a burden of proof. You have achieved the burden of proof for scaling. Okay. It's the most powerful indicator of whether or not a product is going to continue to be profitable is whether or not it's been profitable a majority of the time. Hopefully that makes sense. If it has not been profitable a majority of the time, then the potential for it to be profitable in the future is significantly decreased. So here we go. What you're seeing here is the start of day 4. And some pretty awesome news is that product number 3 has significantly improved. So it looks like all 3 products that we tested are showing great results. Pretty consistent across the board. I turned off a couple of ads campaigns here. One from product 2 and one from product 3. They just did not meet the requirements to continue spending my money, but the other ones seem to be doing very, very well. And I knew that product 3 had a lot of potential because it is a product that encourages multiple variants to be selected. As a high AOV product, if we allow enough orders to come in, it should average out to a very nice ROAS. And sometimes products like that will have an unlucky start. And if you let it run a little bit longer and you allow those bigger purchases to eventually trickle in, you start to see some pretty good numbers. Product 1 hybrid, a couple campaigns just didn't perform the way I wanted them to, but we do have several that are doing just fine. I mean, this guy's kind of borderline here, but if you compare it to this guy, the only difference here, and this guy here too, like the only real big difference here is that the size of the purchases that are coming in. And so if we look at this from an average perspective, if we average all 4 of these across, we're doing quite well. And so that implies that over time, consistency across campaigns is almost equivalent to consistency over time. And so if we see consistency across campaigns, so if we take our average here, whatever that is, it's in the 2s, 2.2, 2.3, something like that. If we take our average here, what we'll end up with is a very good number that we'd like to run with. And so what that implies is if we let this continue to run, we should continue to see that same average over time. And so I'm going to let this guy ride because this one could fluctuate up and another one could come down, right? So we're going to let them all ride. And our split off campaign still doing great. Our average looks spectacular for testing and no real scaling yet. I haven't put the heat on yet. This ad set looks phenomenal. Obviously, this is a high AOV product. It's actually a relatively low ticket, but I'm pushing them towards bulk, like a bulk order, and a lot of people are taking it. You can see the difference here. So great stuff from this test. I really hope you guys enjoy this testing method, because it really just looks great. So that's it for today, and I'll be right back with you guys. All right, guys. So thank you for joining me for the new hybrid testing strategy. I really appreciate you guys checking this out, and I do hope that it works out for you. Please send me your results.
Hit me up if you have questions. The best place to get support, guys, is in the VIP group. Okay, I am in there 7 days a week answering questions. It is a phenomenal group of business owners. Everybody's helping each other out, and I answer everybody's questions. It's as close as you can get to a one-on-one mentorship with me, and it's only $100 a month. It is absolutely invaluable in my opinion. I mean, you could get one question answered that doubles your income. I mean, it really just like one piece of advice sometimes changes everything for you. So hop into that group, guys. It is a phenomenal place to be. Also, remember, and I've mentioned this a couple of times already during this webinar, testing strategies cannot replace good product research. Okay, it optimizes it. It reveals your product research. It gives you a snapshot, a picture of the quality of your work. Okay, it gives us, if you're following a set strategy like this, it tells you how good you are at product research. That's really all it's doing, and allows you to make educated decisions to continue to develop your business. And so I'm going to be releasing quite soon a new product research webinar, but I don't want to, I actually hesitate to call it a product research webinar because it's not going to be like the old ones. I'm going to be much more specific in the way that I build out product pages. We're going to dive into copywriting a little bit. We're going to cover how I structure offers on specific products, how I pick products that I think are going to deliver high AOVs. Because as you've noticed by looking at the results on this ad account, my AOV is pretty good. All right. And it's not because I'm selling high ticket stuff. It's because I'm positioning my products in such a way that people are motivated to buy more than one. And, or I'm picking products because I think people will buy more than one. Or I am structuring enough of a margin in products that I know are going to be one-off purchases. And so if you want to see how I do all of that, please stay tuned. Follow me on Instagram, on YouTube. I'm going to be announcing this next training program very, very soon. I wanted to release it in conjunction with this, but there was such a heavy demand for the new testing strategy going into quarter 4 that I decided to expedite this one for you guys. So just stay tuned, watch my story. I'm going to be releasing the new product research training session very, very soon. And honestly, if you combine that with this, you should crush quarter 4, no problem. I mean, it is crushing right now. So anyways, thanks again, guys, and I'll see you around.